Hello and welcome back to another episode of Road to Champion. So, in the first video, we had a pretty bad performance, to be honest. We went from 940 rated to 915. We only won 1 out of 4 games. So, hoping for another or a better run this time. So, I think we're gonna stick with no move and NPZ. Um, yeah, let's just get right into it. No point in waiting around. Try to get a nice match here. Geoguessr still has yet to fix the matchmaking issue. I think they said those changes were going live on May the 6th, if I'm remembering correctly, and it's currently the 3rd. So by the time this is out, they might have fixed it. If not, I'm really not sure what the devs are doing. There's been a lot of complaints in the community. So hopefully they're on their shit and they can fix it. But yeah, we'll just wait until we get into another game here. Hey guys, so just doing a little voiceover for the first bit of this game. The first, I think, 2 or 3 rounds were a bit choppy, so I'll just do a voiceover for these, and I think the rest of the games after this first one will also be voiceovers, as I wasn't commentating while I was playing them. But yeah, first one here. So see some French here, and this landscape definitely does strike me as French, but it looks very southern with the hills and stuff. So I just go near Lyon, and looking at this now, this is clearly low cam, which is where it ends up being just over the border in Switzerland. But we were pretty close anyway. Nice guess there. So 500 points to start off the duel. Round two. We are in South America. Um, Looking at this one now, I think I do like the guess I end up going with here. Saying these kind of wonky poles are pretty Bolivian. Although like the other poles, look more Peruvian. So I'm between Bolivia and Peru here, and this type of landscape I haven't really seen too often in Peru, so I decided to just go Bolivia. Even though I'm very unfamiliar with Bolivia's kind of landscape, I never practiced Bolivia before, and it was just over the border in Peru. So I don't know, reasonable guess by both of us there. Minimal points, not too worried about it. Round three. Yeah, so off the bat on this round, I actually think we're in India because of the shitcam, but then we see some Spanish, and I remember that Ecuador actually has shitcam, so it pretty much locks me to Ecuador right away. There's not really any other place that can have this coverage that looks like this. You see shitcam obviously in India is notorious for that. You can sometimes see it in Cambodia, and I think Finland might have a little bit too. A few other places around the world have shitcam, but this one is really the only place it can be is Ecuador. So I just confirmed these people do look South American, and I just slammed it into Ecuador. And our opponent went Guatemala, so there's no roof rack and mirror on that round, so no real reason to go Guatemala. But I'll let my commentating take back over. If you know Ecuador has shitcam, then you wouldn't really know to guess there, so we'll take that regardless. This one's Sweden. I think with the outer lines of red buildings. Looks pretty southerly. Can be deceiving though, so I think I might go a little bit near Stockholm. And it's even farther north. I was just gonna click middle, but it really did look pretty southern, pretty flat. Note for next time, never assume it's in the south unless you're 100% sure. This one, we got an American flag. This looks pretty recognizable. Not to me. This is AZ, so Arizona. That makes sense. I was thinking like Nevada region, but is that the I don't think it's the Grand Canyon, but we are probably close to it. So I think I'll just guess north there. I don't really seeing it being. Yeah, okay. He went Texas. Reasonable guess. Got the right attitude roughly. But we had a nice guess though. We're almost done this duel already. Video already off to a much better start than episode 1. Next one looks to be in Europe. I'm thinking instantly Romania here. Don't really have a good reason why. It just kind of has a vibe. It's pretty flat. The brick, the kind of older, not necessarily like shitty looking houses, but a little bit rougher looking houses. I think would make sense. Hungary makes sense too. That pole, go wonky that pole is. Yeah, I think let's go Romania there. And it was actually in Slovenia. That makes sense. I guess, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because Hungary often has like that winterish coverage, but that was really close to Hungary and Slovenia, which wouldn't have that coverage, so definitely gettable. Little rock there. This one, yeah, I think actually in Israel, so I think I'll just send it in. Just gonna guess near Tel Aviv, Jerusalem. Wow, he almost got the right road. Give him a good guess. That was a pretty good guess by him. Although he needs to chill because he's not winning this game. Vendredi, that's Friday in French. Yeah, it doesn't quite say where we're at though, so I think I'll just guess outside of Paris. It doesn't really, I mean, you can't really tell if it's southern or not here. That tree looks a little bit southern, but I'll just guess near Paris. And it's actually Belgium. They do speak French there, that makes sense. I'm in the process of throwing this game right now. But we're not going to throw it all the way away. We're just, we're just making it interesting for real. This is a Guatemalan car, but this does not look like Guatemala. I mean, I guess that must be this lake, right? Mountains on the other side? Yeah. I think this actually is just like this road here. I think that lake's probably big enough to look like this, I would say. I've never got this round before, but this makes a lot of sense to me, so I think we might be on something here. Ah, it was Kyrgyzstan. Ah, man, but I think we guessed the same place. I sent GG an accident, but yeah, we did have some nice guesses there. Well, good thing he didn't get that, because we would have lost. Next one. Europe. That's probably a recognizable bollard, but I don't know it. Super nice road here. Is this 2023 copyright? It is. I think it could be Germany. I think I actually don't mind Germany here. I'm gonna go near Poland. Yeah. We're closer, and I think there's a high enough multi where that's a game. It's not actually the game. Okay, if this guy wins after, bringing him down this low, this is just going to be a repeat of the last game. Nigeria here with the polo car. The hazard tape. I think I usually do this around here. Perfect. We secured the dub. I was a little nervous there about him getting a nice guess, but you can always make so nice of a guess if you make a nice one too. So, there we go, 1 for 1. Much better start to the video. I'm gonna get right back into it. Keep this hot streak rolling. Alright, voiceover Scotia here again. Sorry for the loud wind sound on the last one. I was just noticing that now. But next one here against Oblivios from France. Send them a wave. And this one is interesting. So Amelia, I know we're pretty far north here. I did think, North America at first, and then the trees looked a bit too thin and narrow, so I kind of got like a Finland-Sweden vibe. And I end up going in Finland, if I remember correctly. Although I'm really unsure of this one. And yeah, so I clicked Northern Finland, and it was actually in Canada. So a little disappointed that I didn't get that one, but I haven't really practiced the territories much, because they don't really show up that often. So, not the best start. But this guy is a little bit lower rated than us, so I'm hoping we can get the win. And yeah, so this one here, I mean, lots of not lots, but there's some garbage around. Pretty flat. Doesn't really have much to go off of here. That truck looks very American, and this whole landscape kind of feels like it could be America. So I just go into Utah because it's it's just a dry southwestern of the states, and it was just near Las Vegas there. So nice guess. Another 1,000 points picked up on him. He went New Mexico. Another understandable guess. The mountains didn't feel exactly New Mexican, so this one here, immediately the language and the bollards, the yellow bollards there is in Iceland. So I just go in there, kind of just guessing the capital because why wouldn't you? And it works out. So he clicks middle. Another good strategy there by him, but pick up another 200 points. Every point will count. Now round 4 against Oblivious with the Christmas hat. Zoom in here, some Spanish or Portuguese. I'm not exactly sure. The more I look at this, the more I do think it is actually Brazil. I can't really tell by the polls what exactly this is. A little rainbow there, super nice. And long plates, I mean, definitely fit for Brazil. And those houses kind of feel Brazilian as well. So I thought I'd just go in the southeast here, Brazil. Not really sure where this one's at. And it was Bolivia. So we take a little bit of damage there, but we basically had the same guess, so nothing major. Round 5, 1.5x damage. We get plopped down some here. It looks like the Americas again. It has Pare here, and very green, you know, double yellow lines, almost like a concrete-ish road. Look at the back of the signs there, not black, so it doesn't really fit for Brazil. And, you know, Pare, I can never remember exactly which countries use Pare, or Par, I'm not sure how you say that. But I actually don't remember where I guessed on this one. I went Colombia, north of Colombia, makes sense. And it was just Bolivia. So yeah, clearly Bolivia is one I need to work on. And we almost lose because of that. Take a fat hit of like 4,000 damage. We're not out of it though. Double damage from round 6. Pretty interesting location here. We got the roof rack with the mirrors, so that'll put us in Guatemala. And so I just assumed Guatemala, it's a pretty small country, no real reason to region guess necessarily, so I was gonna click in the middle. And I'm just, you know, looking at the round and I see it's kind of a nice car right there. Looks like a DeLorean almost. Shadow Back to the Future. If you know, you know. Anyway, it was Guatemala. He gets a little bit of a better guess than us. So take another 200 points there. 222, look at that. And we're just down to 1,000 points. So we're down 3,700 points here, around 7. So a little bit worried here. Not out of it though. Now this one, black back of the signs, definitely suggests Brazil. And I don't really have any reason to not go Brazil. So look at this sign here, any information, a couple place names there. None that I recognize. Just trying to fit the landscape here, and these kind of big mountains. I remember seeing in a Rainbow video, one of his daily challenges, that there was big mountains and a pretty cool road in this part of Brazil. So I decided that this landscape would kind of fit that area. So I just go outside of Curitiba, not sure you say that. And I do like this guess here. It looks very similar to the one that Rainbow had. I don't know, I'm not going to tag a video or anything, but if you know, you know. And I mean, if I didn't have that video, this would be a really difficult round. I would still go Brazil, but I wouldn't have this nice region guess. And pick up, how many points is that? 2,900 points. I basically picked up for that. Even though he had a decent Brazil guess. I mean, I think it's a little bit flatter where he guessed, but can't discourage that guess. So this one here, got CW. I don't know what that means. And we have a black card here. And looking around, it looks very Americanized. So I'm thinking the Caribbean islands. We have roof rack, so I think, okay, Dominican Republic has roof rack. So I zoomed right into Dominican Republic. You know, wasn't super confident, but I wasn't worried it wasn't going to be Dominican Republic. And it was actually Curacao, and he nailed it, so props to him. He beat us fair and square. Curacao never really crossed my mind. I never really got Curacao in a multiplayer game before. So, a little annoyed to lose on that one, but we did everything we could. So next one here, NMPZ against TGen. He's about 100 ranked higher than us right now. And this will also be a good moment to point out that these clips are out of order. The games I played, they did not go very well. As you can see by my rating, it was 858. So we dropped another 60 rating points, another 60 elo since the last video to this point. If I put all the games in order, it would just be like 5 losses in a row, if I'm being completely honest. So I put some of the good losses in here and some of the wins. And then you do see the last game I played, which is the elo we'll finish off with. You'll see that a bit later. So this first round, I mean, I'm sitting here for a while, my computer's lagging, I can't open my map. And I just guessed in Mexico, because I don't know where this is at. Thinking about switching to Colombia, and I actually do go for the change, and it was in Panama, which I'm glad I went for that change. Picked up 1,700 points for that change, because we had basically the same guess if I would have stayed in Mexico. But as I just mentioned in the Curacao round, Panama's another one I don't really think of. It often slips my mind. Haven't really practiced it, haven't really got it too many times. This one, winter coverage with the tape on the antenna. You get that in Hungary and Czechia, I think. So I'm between Czechia and Hungary right now for the coverage, and I do just decide to go Czechia with a little bit of a hedge towards Slovakia and Hungary, and it was just in Hungary, so he had a nice Slovak hedge, which I should have done, but I only lose 400 points for that one, so not too bad. Round 3, we are put down in what looks like to be Ireland or the UK. I mean, could be New Zealand, I guess, with these kind of big hills in the back left of the image there. So I'm trying to work out where the sun is, and the sun looks to be in the south, so I'm pretty confident in the UK, but as you can see in the bottom right, my map actually isn't opening when my mouse is hovering over it, and his guess registers with 7 seconds left on the timer, so that was the other thing with some of these rounds, where I was super laggy. So yeah, I went a la man there because I didn't know which one to go, and I was just down in Wales. So we take a little bit of points there, but as I was saying, another reason why I put some of these games in and took out some of them was because I was lagging really bad. This one instantly just looked like New Zealand. I was playing this for my gold around the world challenge, so I was pretty familiarized with New Zealand. Just click bottom or South Island. It looked a little bit more southern, a little bit more hilly, a little bit more dry, and it actually ended up being the North Island. But yeah, as I was saying, I was lagging some of these games, so I just picked the best ones to put in here to hopefully make this an enjoyable video for you guys, even if I lose some more games. So we take 800 points there on New Zealand. Not very happy with that, but he had a nice guess, and we had a bad one, so that's how the game goes. This just looks like the most generic European round I've ever seen. So whenever I think that, I usually just go like Poland or like Romania, and this is pretty flat, so I was liking Poland here. Didn't have a real, thought about which it was, so I was actually hedging on the Czechia-Poland border there, because like I said, super generic, could be Czechia as well. And I'm really playing around with my marker here, a little bit of lag, as you can see, and I just send it in the south of Poland, and it's actually in Latvia, which never really crossed my mind, but of course makes sense in hindsight. But we had another nice guess comparatively to him, so we pick up another 1,400 points there. Round 6, double damage. We are leading by about 1,500 points-ish, and this one is interesting. Looks like, double yellow lines, could be Brazil, could be North America, could be pretty much anywhere in the Americas. I think, the green, lush, it's kind of lush but also rocky. Reminds me of the south of Chile. And as you can see in the bottom right corner again, my map is not opening, which I was getting pretty frustrated during this game, I can't lie. So as soon as I got in, I stuck my marker down south of Chile. I had a little bit of a brain fart in this one because, like I said, I was lagging. I was pretty stressed out that I wouldn't even be good at guessing. Switched it to Argentina for the double yellow lines, and it was actually in the north of Argentina, and we lose 3,400 points there. Definitely gettable that one, but it looked like the south to me, so a lot of things going on, not going my way. Last round, spoiler, last round. We had 1,200 points, he has 2,800 points. This one looks like low cam, and white lines on the outside remind me of Japan. So I kind of deliberated for a minute, and then I decided to go Japan. And these kind of, little bushes or weeds in the bottom left corner, they remind me of like Hokkaido region, but not quite. So I just hedged a little bit south of Hokkaido and the very north of the main island, hoping it was right. And the trees do look pretty Japanese, so I was pretty happy with this guess, but worried about the region guess, and he actually got it wrong, Italy. And I had one of the best guesses I've had, just 15 kilometers away, a nice plonk there for the W. So we take a win there. Better than the losses. We get 23 rating from that, but ultimately we're still down pretty bad for the series. Next game against Armitage Shanks, I think that says. First one is a no move game, and this just looks like another generic European round. So I really just try to take this in for a sec, look for any clues. There's really nothing going on. I see 2021 copyright, so it can't be Germany, which eliminates one country. This one, the vegetation kind of feels Ukrainian in a way, to me at least, during when I was playing this. I really wasn't sure though, so I just clicked right on the Poland border, and I actually kind of hedged more into Poland in case it wasn't Ukraine, and it was actually in New York. So super tough round there. We both went Europe on that one. Had a little laugh because that was kind of a crazy round to start it. Round 2, immediately, I know it's a short antenna there. This kind of fencing reminds me of like Colombian fencing. And I see a stilt house there, which is very common in Cambodia. And Cambodia can look a lot like Colombia and Brazil. So I decided to go for Colombia here, kind of near the upper, past the mountains a little bit flatter, with that fence. And, during this video you'll see that I really should probably practice Cambodia more, as it was Cambodia, but he also went Brazil, so we both got that one wrong. It did look very South American to both of us, clearly, so pretty tricky Cambodian round there. But, no points again. A couple bad guesses to start the game, but it's a pretty difficult round too. So this one, the long dashed outer lines, Norway. This landscape, it's just very Norwegian as well. It feels a little bit farther north to me because there's not really that many big trees. So I just click, not max north, but pretty far north. And it was just kind of in the south. So he had a really nice guess there by him. I wasn't disappointed in my guess, just annoyed that he had a nice one. And I was kind of surprised that was actually that far south. But Norway's tricky like that. Next one here, another kind of generic European round. Long antenna. Zoom in on this one, see some, it looks like Greek to me. And I checked the sky for rifts, no rifts. Wouldn't be like Albania or Montenegro. So I go into Serbia. I guess that doesn't look like Greek to me, that looks like, Cyrillic. And yeah, just taking in the landscape here. Decided to just go right to the border there, and we had almost the exact same guess, and it was actually just in Ukraine. So pretty crazy round there in Ukraine. But so far we've had crazy rounds, and me and this guy have made the same crazy wrong guesses. So pretty interesting duel. This one, blur immediately confuses me. I'm just trying to think where this could be that has a blur. I know Ecuador has shitcam. It's not Ecuador. They don't have this blur, not that I'm aware of at least. And I was pretty convinced this was like, South America or Mexico. With the trucks, with the housing, with, just this whole round vibes. Really gave me Mexican vibes. Or South American. So I think he kind of had the same problem as I did. Didn't exactly know where this was. And yeah, I was just looking for any clue because nothing was popping into my head. I'm pretty annoyed I didn't think of Panama, which is where this was. A little upside down beer bottle there, but yeah, I don't know why Panama didn't pop in my head at all. Usually if it's this long on a round, I know I don't know. I'd start looking on the map and, finding where it might be, but for some reason that just didn't happen this round. And I just, I was gonna go in Bolivia because I was like, I don't know Bolivia, it could be there. And then, new coverage, I was like, probably not Bolivia, so I just went Brazil, and he did too. And yeah, it was just in Panama, so, pretty easy round, like a super easy round in hindsight. It's just whether you think of it or not. So, me and this guy are having quite the game. I don't know if it's a good or a bad game, but next one here looks pretty European. This architecture is definitely pretty, recognizable. And the language there, I can't tell the difference between Czech and Polish. Sorry, the audio cut off a little bit there, but yeah, I'm thinking Czech or Polish here. And then we actually see a .cz right there, so that finalizes us in Czechia. Yeah, this is a type of round that, pro or somebody experienced in Europe would definitely be able to get pretty quickly. But I'm not super experienced in specific parts of Europe, so I wasn't sure. But had a really nice guess there, just like 2 towns over. And just a little random small town there, so nice guess, pick up over 1,000 points there. And that's what we really needed in this duel, around round 7, and there's been barely any damage done because the rounds have just been so bizarre. And here we go again with another bizarre round. Now, I recently, I don't know if you guys know the baggy pants meta, but back when world map was a predominant map here, there was a meta between Pakistan here and India, where Indian people wore more tight pants and Pakistani people wore baggier pants. So I don't know, that's probably some religious or cultural things. And I actually go over to Lebanon here because I know they use similar like language, not similar language, but similar like script. And I knew Lebanon just recently got added to Street View, but I wasn't sure if there was any in Geoguessr, and then this sign here says Punjab, Corporation of Punjab. So that kind of leads me back towards Pakistan, but I'm still really unsure because Pakistan very rarely shows up on these maps. So I was really hesitant. I've never gone Pakistan on an improved world before. I think that's what this map is, and it actually was Pakistan, just up by Islamabad. I went in the wrong city, but he guessed Punjab in India, so super understandable guess there. But we pick up a little bit more points. Round 8, triple damage. We have a Greenland round here on the ATV. I know the ATVs, the vehicles in Greenland are very helpful, very meta-based. So I think it's, I don't know Greenland at all, but I think a lot of the coverage is kind of up north here, where I guessed, and it was just a little town up. So pick up another 1,400 points there. He had the right vibe too, but we just guessed farther up, which is pretty lucky. And round 9, we have another Greenland round. Now, looking at this now, this is pretty obviously Greenland. This one, for some reason, I wasn't sure. The ATV I knew was a Polish thing, or a Greenlandish thing. Sorry. And this one, I just couldn't put my finger on it. I'm not sure why. I thought it was maybe some random island I didn't know had coverage, like Faroe Islands or north of Norway type of thing, where it's just kind of a random thing. And I don't know why Greenland didn't pop into my mind here. It was probably due to the car with the mirrors here that, tripped me up. Anyway, he guesses. I take one last look at the mirrors, and I just go Faroe Islands here. I don't know why I go in Faroe Islands. I know the Faroe Islands, I think, has a roof rack. And he 5Ks this one in Greenland. So, we had a pretty poor guess, but he also got the 5K, and that was knockout damage. So, this is a very interesting seed. We had Panama, we had 2 Greenland rounds in a row, Pakistan. It was interesting. So, anyway, on to the last duel here against Flazy. This is actually the last game I recorded, so we know where I'm at in terms of elo. And this one off the bat, pretty flat, pretty European. I was thinking kind of Hungary with this kind of winterish coverage. Pretty flat down there. But it really could be kind of anywhere in the central eastern region of Europe. And yeah, I'm looking more down into Bulgaria here, but there's really not much to go off of. So I just kind of, take my best shot, have a little bit of a hedge, and just hope it works. But either way, it's first round, no multis. Well, no multis. So yeah. Anyway, it wasn't Hungary. My first guess would have been super nice if we had stayed, but we switched it and lose 700 points for that. Keep in mind, this game was after losing I don't know. Let's be honest, 7 or 8 games, out of 10. So I was a little rattled. But we have Kenya here with the snorkel, so you just kind of insta-send Kenya. Outside Nairobi, I decided to go on this road here. I'm not really sure why I decided to go down there. There's a lot more coverage, I believe, to the northwest of Nairobi where it was. So he just clicked Nairobi and picks up another 300 points. So, his hedging, his guesses are picking them up points. Not really helpful for us. We're down to 866 rating at this point, so we're almost 100 below where we started this series. And so yeah, next one in Europe, long dash lines. We have what looks to be like a German-ish language, but I'm not the greatest at distinguishing between languages, so I just go in Austria down here. I feel like it kind of looks like almost like Italian, like an Austrian Alps, and it was a super nice guess, and we both actually got it. So super happy with that one. Just 5 points there. I don't mind that. But yeah, as I was saying, this video was kind of a disaster. Didn't know, or I kept losing all the games. So they did fix the the multiplayer system on Geoguessr. So I think the next episode should be better. It'll be completely based on elo, and hopefully we can get back up to where we started at and more. So this round here, super interesting round. Very interesting landscape. I mean, it definitely looks like South America to me, and we see some Latin language there. The yellow dash lines, they kind of all make sense. But I'm really, unsure of this one. So I take all the time I can get, 5 seconds left on the clock, and I just clicked Mexico near Yucatan because it was kind of flat, but it was actually in Bolivia again. So another very interesting Bolivia around there. We lose another 1,800 points. So yeah, if there's anything I've taken from this video is that I need to practice Bolivia, so I might make that my next goal around the world country. So we'll see. You have to stay tuned to find that out. Next one here, we're in looks like Malaysia with the white ticks on the black license plate. In Malaysia, there's 2 ticks. In Indonesia, there's 3 white ticks on license plates. And this is Berhenti there in the stop sign, just to confirm we are in Malaysia. And I can't tell if we're in, this island or this island. And I just end up going mainland, and it was actually, what's that island called? Borneo, right. So we still pick up 200 points there, but we could have picked up probably over 1,000 or 2,000 points there if I would have had a Borneo guess. Either way, satisfied we still picking off damage from them. Next one here, driving on the left, very mountainous. Obviously Indonesia or Malaysia comes to mind. This language could fit for either. And I can't really tell the license plates, unfortunately, but the instant vibe this gave me was Borneo. This kind of hilly, very tropical landscape. And, these kind of houses don't really feel like mainland houses, so I just went for Borneo. And we're going to see if he is, because this is right after that other round that was. And it was actually where I clicked the first time, but we had a really nice guess there. He went mainland, so we pick up 2,500 points there. Super, I'm glad I made up that round for the last one where I didn't go Borneo. So pretty okay, satisfactory when playing this game at this point. We're just about even. I got a little bit of a health advantage on him. And then we have this very interesting round. So instantly I thought, UK, Ireland. And this is a very kind of unique landscape. Some rock walls. This kind of grass and the hilliness is a little bit peculiar. So my first thought was just way in the west of Ireland for some reason. I'm not really sure why I thought this, but I put my marker down because that's my best thought right now, but it doesn't feel right. I don't think it's quite right. So I keep taking my time. He's taking a sweet old time on this one too. And yeah, I'm just soaking it all in, thinking where the best one could be. And I decide to, okay, he guesses, locks us in. We have 10 seconds on the clock. And I decided to change my guess to Wales. I click in Snowdonia, shout out Geoguessr, and I switched down to Wales, and it's great in Wales. So another great change, another great guess, and another 2,600 damage. So we're down to 600 points on our opponent in triple damage. Feeling pretty confident about this one, and then we get this round. So first thoughts here was, the fence, very like South American, this kind of, sticky fence, I guess you could say. I think it was Colombian or Mexican. And over here, the house is kind of facing away from us, doesn't really do much for us. And the poles, they're not Mexican, so I opt for Colombia in this kind of flatter region in the north. And I eat my words once again, and he guesses Cambodia. I go Colombia on Cambodia again, and we take another 12,000 damage to lose that duel. So yeah, I'll go back to the main screen here in a second, and we'll just kind of wrap up this video and explain where I am and where I'm going to go in the future. So here is where we currently sit. I've dropped all the way down to an 853 rating, as you can see right here. So, first 2 episodes of this series, it's not going great, to put it lightly. But, yeah, Geoguessr fixed their ranking system slightly, so all the promotions will be based on ELO only. So I think we have to get to 12 or 1300 ELO to get the champion. So yeah, going forward, we'll have a much easier kind of path to get the champion. Not easier, but more straightforward and as it should work. Our matchups should be closer in ELO. And yeah, I'm gonna record my next game, my next episode here soon, and hopefully we get some wins. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.